What's the word, y'all? Werds Illah here with another paint process video. This right here is a piece that I'm dedicating to the one and only Quasimoto, aka Madlib, aka Tha Beat Konducta. That is Lord Quas on the canvas. I drew that before and then masked it off. And full disclosure, I did it backwards. I should have painted it first and then covered it up, but it is what it is. It's a learning process sometimes, and I can still make it work either way, as you're gonna see through the video. But yeah, so I went and started with a nice bright red. Like that stands out really dope to me. And then I started to think like, oh, I want to put some orange in there. And when I went to go get the orange out, I started putting it on the can to my palette, so to speak. And as you can see, I don't know what happened, but I was able to mix it up and still be able to use it. So I put some of that down with a palette knife and kind of just spread it over a couple of spots. And see here, I'm just trying to dry it off nice and good, so the next layer doesn't interfere with it, and colors don't mix up or anything like that. So then I took this bubble wrap. I saw somebody using this as a technique and put some lime green, I think that's what I used, or neon green maybe, paint down and use that to add some texture to it. And then I went on to put some purple. It's like a lavender, light purple.
He was going to become a painter like Jasper John.
I just like how that paint sounds when it hits the canvas like that. So that's why I included the audio here. But yeah, so I splashed some of that down. That was I wanted a really nice bright background that just had a lot of color in it. So I tried to use as many of the colors in the rainbow as I could, different sort of forms, lighter and darkers, and more pastel colors. And of course, as always, it's good to dry down, especially if you're not trying to have any mixing. Sometimes I don't mind, because if the color mixes with another, maybe it'll look cool, but certain things I don't. So yeah, as you see here, now I'm taking one of those Posca paint pens, if you've ever seen those before. They're really dope. They're sort of a water-based acrylic. It works well. I just push the head of the pen down a few times to get the ink to start running through, and then I just throw it, basically. Then I took the what is this? The Sacred Geometry, Flower of Life, whatever you want to call it. And I took a nice white and a paint roller and put that stencil down over all of it. Make sure you get the sides and everything. But again, Madlib, just one of the best to me. Like, I can't say enough about him. Him and Dilla to me are like the greatest ever. Then I don't know, sometimes I go between like Knots and like Black Milk, like as like my other ones, but I listen to Madlib stuff like all the time. You see, I got a little jig on. Sometimes you gotta dance while you're working to get the juices flowing. Then of course, I dried it off right here. Again, like I said, I wanted to make sure that these layers were all separate. The colors got to stay the same. And then I took another, this isn't a Posca pen. This is I think Artist's Loft. They have a certain paint pen that's like Posca's. It's slightly different, but the same concept. It's like a water-based acrylic paint, and you push the head of the pen down and it starts to make the ink or the paint or whatever run into the felt tip. And you just draw with it, write with it, whatever. Makes it really simple. I thought it was cool to add like this, trailing sort of hand-drawn element over it. And there's a part you can't really see on there too. I also took another Posca pen that's like the same green as I used with the bubble wrap, and made like some X's because I felt like that green wasn't showing through after I started putting some of the other layers on. I want to make sure people can see that. But then you see me here, I'm unmasking the piece, and as you see, like I said, I started backwards. I should have painted the character first, and then I thought about it, I was like, yo, it would actually kind of look cool if all this background was this color, and then I just left the character like uncolored. I thought that could have been like a cool effect. I might do that at some point with something else, but I went ahead and just like I said, I unmasked it, and then I went ahead and got the paint that I was going to use to actually paint in the character. You know what I'm saying? Took a nice, I want to say this was like a deep yellow that I used, and I didn't really do any like color blending or making to try to figure out how to make it like the exact same color as the character, because I feel like there's variations with different versions of the character that I've seen. So I just went with what I felt like looked the best to me, and I was going down the easy. What I've been having trouble with a lot sometimes with these acrylic paints that I've been using is like their coverage. Sometimes it's like I gotta keep going over it, and like if the paintbrush gets a little too wet when I'm trying to like clean it off or like prepare it before I even use it on any color, it's like watering it down. It takes even longer for me to cover the canvas. So what you're not gonna really see some of is that I actually went over this like 2 or 3 times, different areas and stuff, to try to make it so that this was covered well, but it still has sort of a texture, which I felt like was not bad because the character himself is supposed to be sort of furry, I guess. So if there was a texture to it, I didn't think it like harmed the piece too much. But you see there, like finishing up, kind of putting the last few dollop some paint to try to get it covered, nice good coverage in certain areas where I felt like it was too light. Of course, as per usual, you know, gotta dry it off good because you want to make sure that everything that you do afterwards, because I still had to do the blunt in his mouth and the brick in his hand. So I colored those last. I didn't even show that, but here's the finished product. Yeah, man. This was a dope piece. Like I said, I was able to bring it to an event called Pancakes and Booze. I had one in DC. I'll be there again, I believe. The one they're having in Philly in March, but which is dope because it's my birthday week. So I'll be presenting some art in Philly the week of my birthday. So yeah, man, if y'all like these videos, like I said, as per usual, man, like, comment, share, subscribe to the channel, let other people know, man, and stay tuned, man. I got more work I'm doing, man, and yeah, man, you want to buy a piece or something, if you're interested in this piece alone, even, I don't have it on my site, so hey, hit me up directly. Instagram, Werds Illah, or hit me up here.